Hey everybody, it's Doom here from Dungeons and Doom Biscuit, and I'm going to convert this Kree Accuser Heroclix into a sick Dark Angel. And I started to do it once, but the paint I used underneath was cheap, and it wasn't what I usually use for an undercoat. And it was falling off and coming off, and the paint job went terribly. It started running after I was doing like dry brushing. It started like running. I don't know how to explain it, but that's why you don't use garbage. You can use garbage, but the garbage I used was like expired paint that I got somewhere. I think it was one of those things where you go to like every day it's like $1 cheaper to buy a bunch of stuff or something. I can't remember how it works, but I don't remember where I got it. I'm just going to hit her with a little bit of fire to make sure everything's it's going to take paint. I'm cutting her off this base. This is just a poker chip thing from a board game. And I'm going to get her on here. Okay, so let's get some glue. Actually, let's get ourselves prepared for some battle here. Alright. I'm going to get glue. I'm out of glue. Hold on, let me get another glue. Am I getting low on glue? I have to make a glue run. Okay. I'm just going to use an old paintbrush or a toothpick or something to spread that out a little bit. Get a shape that I like. Okay. Something like that. I'm going to get her on there. Okay, she's going to be sturdy. Get a toothbrush. I'm just going to clean off that excess baking soda. Cool. Now I have wings for her. These are from a fairy kit I got at Five Below long ago. And I'm just going to do this in some steps here. I'm just going to cut that off. I'm going to cut that off just like that. And I'm going to mount those. And to mount those, I'm just going to get a dab of hot glue to hold it in place. Just like that. Stick it on to her shoulder and let it cool for a second to hold. And do the same thing on this one. Just a tiny dab of glue. Just to hold it. Let it cool for a second to hold it in place. And I'm going to get a look and see if I like where those wings sit. And I sure do. I'm going to get a drop of glue back here. I'm going to use a paintbrush with a glue tip. The tip's already all got super glue. I'm going to try to just get it spread out. I want good bonding. Now I'm going to sprinkle a little bit by hand just to make sure it's not super thick. Get a little bit more glue. Spread that around. Try to have good coverage on the surface. Okay. Sprinkle some more. Everything looks pretty sturdy and good. I kind of want to make sure that none of this is real rough and it's real sturdy. So I'm going to get one more drop of glue there. I'm going to spread that around a little bit just to smooth everything up. Okay. Perfect. I'm going to hot air gun that real fast. Alright, I'm going to black bomb her with Ultra Matte Rust-Oleum ×2 black. Oh, put it in the wrong spot. Hold on, let me get back. Alright, I'm going to hit her with the hot air gun real quick to make sure that it's not going to cure well, but it's going to dry. I'm going to get a roll of tape and just put tape around here so that if there's any stickiness, it's not sticking all over my fingers. This is just some crap tape I got from the T2, the T-Boo. Oh, I got some on my hand already, just like I didn't want to do. Now, normally I could just let this sit and dry, but it's a very glossy 2x matte. I'm thinking, is it too humid in here? Alright, so sometimes when you have something like that and you don't want the model to get too hot, you can do this. This will create like it's kind of evenly heating it all around and not getting the model too hot. It'll still heat up and get rubbery, but okay. Let's hope that's good enough for government work. Within that margin for error for government work. Alright, let's check her out. Still really shiny for some reason. See back in there, there's some green where I didn't get a good coat there. We're just going to have to live with that because I don't want to hit her with more paint. I can hit her with clear coat, actually. I can hit her with a clear coat. That'll take away some of that shine. That brought the shine down some, and when that dries, it'll even be better. Okay. Now we're going to need a big brush, a big makeup brush. And I'm looking for white paint if I have any. I might only have off-white. Oh, there's white. Oh, it's almost empty. I keep telling myself to get white paint, and I keep forgetting to get white paint. Okay. We're going to lighten her up. Try to catch detail. Brush probably was too big for this mini. I'm gonna get a smaller one. I need a little bit more white. All right, so we have a decent undercoat here now. Let's hit her with the air gun real quick on low. I want to do like a purple, I think, on her. But I might want to do that as like a wash over all of it. I don't know. I kind of want to do her skin in metallic like I did the other one. I don't know. I'm going to start by doing some metallic on her. Do a little bit of this gold here. That's probably more than I needed. And I'm not striving for any kind of absolute perfect coverage. This paint's a little thin. I'm okay with that. Okay. She's essentially a celestial that fell to the control of a lich named Alcazar, or Alcazar, depending on who you talk to. All right, we have to decide if this chest part's going to be flesh or not. I think we're going to make it flesh down here to the, like, brassiere. And then the top of her arms doesn't look like it's metal, or flesh, I should say, not metal. Okay, something like that. And then some of the parts we're going to want to be darker, like her hood and stuff. So I'm going to come on that immediately with like a purple color. What's this purple color here? It's called Alien Purple. Let's try it. All right, let's get her all purpled up. I think I want to do her outfit in purple too now that I'm looking at it. Something like that, maybe. Okay. I'm going to dry that off. Okay, I don't know what I want to do with her shoulder pads. I have this like copper color here or bronze color here. So I think I'm gonna just get a dip of that and do those in bronze, and maybe the brassiere part in bronze, and maybe the belt. We'll see how significantly different this is from the gold. Okay, so it's different. I don't know if I'm happy with it. I don't know. Oh, I got a little bit on the skirt part there. Okay, something like that. I don't know what I'll do with those boots either. Probably should do them in this as well. Maybe the purple would have been a better choice for the boots. I don't know. They're kind of like dual segmented, like there's a knee pad to it. I don't know what color I'm going to do the wings. Hope it's nice enough to swim today. Or cool enough to want to get in the hot tub. One of the two. Any of the two. Okay, something like that. Let's hit her with a hot air gun. Lightly. And I'll do the base. I'm going to do the base in some Walmart brown. This is burnt umber. I like this because you can get a big jug of it for a couple bucks. And it lasts for a long time. I think this is the second one I've bought in 15 years, and I use it for terrain and anything, really. It's a good brown color, too. It's nice and dark, and I like it. Okay. Something like that. Hit her with the hot air gun again. All right. Now, she is super bendy because of that hot air. Now she's mostly covered everywhere, and it looks okay. You could probably stop there if you really wanted to. I don't really want to. Let's get her base. And let's do a wash on her. I want to do a purple, so what I'm going to do to make a purple, since I don't have a purple wash and I don't want to make one, I'm going to get some speed paint and some medium and make my own wash. So I'm going to start with about 4 drops of that purple. I'm going to do about 3 drops of that medium. Up, I put 4. So I did 4 and 4. I'm going to get a crappy brush. And I'm going to stir that up. Okay. And my goal is to try to not get it on the wings or the base. Okay. Now I did get some on the wings. Let me get a little bit of water and try to get most of that off. Okay, not noticeable. All right. We're gonna hit her with the air gun again. We're getting there. We're getting there. Now for my wings, I want to do something very thin. So I have this metallic blue from Folk Art that I got at Walmart, but I want it to be a very light purple. So I'm going to mix some of this cameo pink in that together. And see what I can do. Still looks blue. The saturation of the blue is metallic, so there's no way to get that looking the way I want. Okay, so let's turn this around. Let's try something different. I'm gonna get some clear metallic. Not clear metallic, but you know, silver. I'm going to get some purple. Speed paint here. I'm going to try to see what that does. Okay, that's what I wanted, something like that. Let's get a little bit of medium and thin that out. Okay. And we want it to be thin enough that it's not like losing texture, but thick enough that you're kind of fairly evenly covering your wings. And we want to make sure we got the outsides evenly covered there. Something like that. Good. We're going to hit this with the air gun, and hopefully it dries pretty quick. All right, we're gonna leave those wings alone for a minute. Let's get some black and go around the base. Let's get it, well, let me get a medium brown and put some of this away. It's getting in my, I don't want it to be where I'm working. All right, we're getting a medium brown. And just any kind of crappy brush will do. Just throw some variation on the base. Okay. And then we want to paint around the base, the outer rim black. I hope that's enough. I'm just gonna smoothly and easily, with a nice even coat. I don't want a bunch of brush strokes and such on here. I don't remember the name of the dude, but there's this YouTuber I watched. He came up on my reels. He painted a Mothman, but he like sang heavy metal or did AI about heavy metal maybe about the Mothman while he was painting him. I'm not gonna lie, the metal and painting together is pretty great. I'd always kind of wished Miniac, when he was like, you know, when I saw him around, I don't know if, I mean, he probably still is around. I don't watch, you know, a lot of YouTube, but I love that mix. I wish I was motivated enough to edit videos and do stuff. Okay, so the wings look pretty dry from what I can tell. We need a piece of plastic. All right, so for these wings, let me get something to use for these wings, we want a very, very thin coat of whatever, you know, sheen. Yep. So I'm getting this runic gray. Oh, damn it. That's way more than I needed. All right, we're not using that. Hold on. Let me find something else. All right, so anyways, some speed paint medium in here. I'm going to put about 5 drops. I'm going to get my brush. Oops. And I'm just going to grab that runic gray, a little bit of it. There we go. I'm going to mix that in and make it really, really thin. We want this to be congruous or homogenized, or, well, homogenized is like probably not a good term, but, and we want to just give it a quick once over. Spread evenly. First do the inside. Looks decent. Then the outside. I'm just grabbing anything that's a little bit too thick or too much. I'm just taking that off. Just like that. God, I love speed paint. It's super cool. I don't like the contrast paint as much, for sure. That was not Runic Gray, that was Cloudburst Blue. I grabbed the wrong color. But anyways, so we can do the base up real quick. So let's get a little bit of glue. Clear glue, Elmer's. Pull the prophylactic off for Sweeney because he doesn't want that on there when he's using his glue. I'm going to get a toothpick. I'm going to spread a little bit of it around down here. Just like that. I'm going to get a little bit of flock. And then I'm going to get a couple of these little tufts, maybe one of them, a pair of tweezers. I'm going to dip my little tuft in the glue and shove it on the base. I'm pretty happy with that. I'd like her eyes to be noticeable. Sorry, this is a long one. I usually try not to make these converts so long, but sometimes they are. I'm getting white. I made her eye all derpy and weird. I'm just going to clean that off real quick with a little bit of water. There we go. I think I'm just going to leave them white. Now when I clear coat her, the shine's going to go away somewhat, but the metallic's going to remain noticeable. I hope. Usually 75% of the time or more at least. But there she is. And I think you'll see that there's some like weird things about her that clear up with the clear coat too, and you'll see that in that when I take the photo at the end and post it. But yeah, she's gonna look dark and gruesome and scary. So anyways, thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, share, hit the notification bell icon, leave a comment, and I don't know, maybe I'll see you next time.